Now you've had some fun building an air rocket. Did you notice that your rocket didn't always travel in a straight pattern? Maybe you wondered about the rockets that you see launch appearing to travel straight up. Let's take a closer look. When you watched the launch of the Crew Dragon, it appears to travel vertically, but you must remember that the Earth is round. So it's actually traveling in an arc. And if you watch the launch, you'll see that once it reached space, it had to go through several burns. This is to help change the trajectory of the capsule so that it will be on course to intersect with the International Space Station. When you launched your paper rocket, you should have seen that it also travels more in an arc pattern. But this is because of the force of gravity pulling it back to Earth. The stronger pull of gravity causes your paper rocket to fall quite quickly. And when you watched me launch the air rocket, it too fell quickly, but it traveled much faster, much farther due to the force that was applied to it. The Crew Dragon has rockets that help it fight against gravity and once in space against the orbital pull of Earth. Though I cannot help you create a liquid fuel propelled rocket, I do have one that uses a different gas. It's going to remind you again of some of the previous science lessons, and I'm curious if you'll make that connection. For this rocket, you will need Alka-seltzer tablets, and you'll need water. You can also use baking soda and vinegar. Now, Alka-seltzer has many uses and shouldn't be used without adult supervision, so make sure you have mom, dad, grandma, or some older adult that is helping you with this project. My grandmother used to use Alka-seltzer to clean her dentures. Alka-seltzer includes sodium bicarbonate, otherwise known as baking soda, and citric acid, which reacts with water, creating the effervescence or releasing tiny carbon dioxide bubbles. Remember, carbon dioxide is a gas. If we trap this gas, it will create pressure, and eventually so much pressure is created that it must be released, creating an explosion. And it's this explosion that's going to launch our rocket. So let's take a look. Okay, so you have heard of the Mentos and Coke explosion. If you haven't, you can go online, you can check out lots of different variations of this. But basically you need soda and you need Mentos. Now, why do you need these things? Soda is made with gas, and so the bubbles in there, that's carbon dioxide. And so one of the ways to release that is to cause a chemical reaction. The Mentos have sugar in them, and they also have this coating, and when the coating breaks down, it causes that chemical reaction, the release of the gas, but it happens very quickly, which is how you get a launch. So to do this at home, if you want to, part of the experiment is to try different sodas to see what's going to get you the best lunch. I just grabbed one at the soda at the corner store, but I would recommend just using cheap soda. And you need an index card. You're going to roll that into a tube so that it can fit on top. I have a second one just to stop the Mentos from falling in, and I've loaded this tube with the Mentos. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on top and line it up. And when I release it, I want to step back. Now, the other part of your experiment could be how much soda do you need? How many Mentos do you need? So there's lots of variables that you can play around with. So we're going to go ahead and try this. Let me see if I can get this stable a little bit. I want my soda to fall over. 3, 2, 1. And this is a smaller explosion. I only used about half the Mentos. So try this at home, see what you can do. Alright, so for this next explosion, this is the Alka-seltzer rockets that I was talking about. And for this, you're going to need a couple of things. Now, if you're lucky enough to get some film canisters, those are the best that you can use. But if you don't have film canisters, you're not out of luck. There's other things you can use. This is an M&M candy container, but to make this work, I don't want the lid attached. So I'm just going to go ahead and snip that, and that way I can put the lid on or I can take it off. Now, to just make fun, you don't have to, but just for fun, you do usually want to decorate these so they look like a rocket. So you can use those index cards or just paper and wrap it around. You can tape it, create yourself a cone on here. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I've taken an index card and I'm just going to wrap it around right above the hole on my M&M container here, and then I'm going to tape that shut. And then I'm going to create a cone on top. You may remember in one of the last ones we did this, where you're going to first make yourself a circle, and I'm just using scraps, but you can trace around a roll of tape or something like that. Once you've made your circle, you want to fold it in half, Open it up, fold it in half again. This is going to give you your center point. So now I can cut to my center, just to the center. If you overlap those, then you have your cap. So I'm going to take my cone on. And in this case, because there's already a way to prevent air from coming out, you don't have to add anything else to that. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this to the top. Okay, now that we have created it, we're going to experiment with it a little bit. Are you ready, Eli? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to take an Alka-seltzer tablet. Now remember, this is not something you need to play with, so you need to make sure that you have parent permission to do this. However, if you don't have Alka-seltzer, that's totally fine. Use baking soda and vinegar and mix the different amounts to get the same explosion. So here we're going to need the Alka-seltzer tablet, and we're going to need water. So Eli, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to put just a little bit of water inside your rocket. Alright, so you're going to play at home with different ratios of water and Alka-seltzer. You can also play with different ratios of how much of this tablet you actually need. So Eli, you're going to go ahead and drop that in. You're going to cap it, give it a little bit of shake, and flip it over. Okay. Give it a little shake, flip it over. There it goes. And you can reuse the tab again. All right, so you're going to continue to experiment with different ratios and try this at home. You can also do the, if you have some Mentos left, you can also try adding some soda in here with a little bit of Mentos. Flip it over and see what happens with that as well. And yeah, have fun. Bye-bye.